to me nice, talk to me honestly. Look in my eyes, don't let it fall on me. Say you a good guy, make me believe it. Don't wanna hear it, I wanna see it. See how rewind, when we rewind, it feels so nice. We time, you I know how to make me feel right. I can't help how that this sweet talk. I'm already on my way. I'm pulling up, don't be late. I'm cutting through all the lanes. Sweet talk. You need to say less to me. No need for no flowers, babe. I'm already on my way, on my way. Why you blushing? Yeah, sweet concussion. Oh, you miss my touching. Good girl. Show me something. Give me more than one thing. I need more than less than I do. Say you a good guy. Make me believe it. Don't wanna hear it, I wanna see it. See how rewind, when we rewind, it feels so nice. I can't help how that this sweet talk. I'm already on my way. I'm pulling up, don't be late. I'm cutting through all the lanes. Sweet talk. You need to say less to me. No need for no flowers, babe. I'm already on my way, on my way. We've been dancing all night long, right here with you way too long. Don't want nothing here or now, but I'm done waiting, done wasting my time. That this sweet talk, I'm already on my way. I'm pulling up, don't be late. I'm cutting through all the lanes. Sweet talk, you need to say less to me. No need for no flowers, babe. I'm already on my way, on my way. Talk to me nice, talk to me honestly. Look in my eyes, don't let it fall on me. Say you a good guy, make me believe it. Don't wanna hear it, I wanna see it. See how rewind, when we rewind, it feels so nice. We time, you I know how to make me feel right. I can't help how that this sweet talk. I'm already on my way. I'm pulling up, don't be late. I'm cutting through all the lanes. Sweet talk. You need to say less to me. No need for no flowers, babe. I'm already on my way, on my way.
Good morning. I'm feeling a little different this morning, if you haven't noticed.
It's all good.
Come on in. Let's talk about it. Let's talk about it. It's getting warmer outside.
What's up, Smith?
It's
They can't hear us, baby.
No, I'm not muted.
Oh, okay.
Good morning, S. Smith.
What up, Smith?
Welcome. Y'all see my mirrors? This is my little trademark when I drive around in my car.
Queen Tracy got a little saucy going this
I
morning.
put on a little I put on these glasses because it's like, it's kind of incognito. It's like, who's that?
The mirror tint.
And then I put the red lip on.
Smith, remember they used to have the mirror tint on the cars? Put the mirror tint instead of the dark tint.
So we're going to do the show a little differently today. You notice I put the LY on the end. That's like a little pet peeve of mine.
Differently?
Differently. That's how you're supposed to say it.
Is that grammatically correct?
I don't get into the grammatically correct
Okay.
way of speaking
Okay.
because it's really
The King's English?
yeah.
Okay, so what are you
I'm
saying?
not related. Well, I might be related to the king. I just don't know. But we're not going there.
Okay.
But anyway, so we're doing a little differently today.
That's
we're
fine.
gonna talk about the DMV. Don't get it wrong. That's what we're here for. We're talking about the DMV.
That's fine, baby. This is our show.
But we're not gonna talk about one particular place.
It's our show, but it's the people's show.
Well, yeah. we're gonna talk about several different places today. We're gonna talk about whatever places you want to talk about. And if you're from the NC, we'll talk about the NC a little bit too.
Ain't nobody talking about the NC.
That's a little different from you. Okay.
I was channeling my inner Tracy.
Okay, wait, y'all. I have to show you something. Can you reach those?
What, baby?
Behind me.
Yeah. What, the flowers?
The flowers, y'all. Look at these flowers. My husband picked these flowers from our garden. Aren't they beautiful? Oh my gosh.
Show
They're
and
so
tell.
beautiful. He actually went out into the garden and picked these, put them in the thing for me. They're just so beautiful. I just want to show everybody that. And just for no reason. Just
Well,
because
show
he's
and
here.
tell.
Show and tell. I love them. I love them, baby. So, little secret, y'all. The deer eat the roses. If you don't have rose bushes in your garden, go get some rose bushes. They just really, really brighten your day. And there's something about having a little bit of that nature. If you don't have a garden, get the little rose bushes. Thank you. Get the little rose bushes and pot plant them and put it on your windowsill or on your balcony or something. They just bring me so much joy when I look at my roses. But I have tons of roses in my garden, and the deer would come through. So when we moved in this house,
it's a little treat for the deer.
when we moved in this house, the deer would come through, just strolling through the yard, like, "What you doing here?" And I was like, "I don't like this."
We're like, yeah, we just over here getting a little snack on these roses. You know, it's like dessert.
Yeah, I want to see
The beautiful smell.
I want to see the deer from afar.
No, they like, yo,
These jokers were walking up to the window, y'all, and looking in the window like,
we've been around here for generations. Where you come from?
it was weird. So I reached out to this vendor. I forget the name. Oh,
Sorry, baby. Sorry.
It's okay. And she comes out every other week, I believe, and she sprays. And it's all organic. I'm not hurting the deer. I'm not hurting the flowers. I'm not hurting the trees. And she sprays the yard, and she says they don't like it. And I have not seen the deer, and my flowers are.
The flowers are proliferating.
Oh my God, we have so many flowers, y'all. So many flowers. Good morning.
What's going on, Lamar's?
From the Lamar's in the ATL. How is the ATL, y'all?
Beautiful love from the Turners to the Lamar's.
Oh, I like that.
ATL.
Okay, one more time. I'm gonna update the song eventually, y'all. I've just been so busy at work.
Baby,
oh
it's
my
fine.
gosh.
It's
So
fine, baby.
yesterday I got up. He went into the office. He went into the office yesterday.
I did. It was
He'll
weird.
have to tell you about that. But I said my son was supposed to run him in, and sorry, I don't know what's going on. I'm having a bad hair day. And I came back. I had a meeting, and then I had another meeting, and then I had another meeting, and then I had to get some work done because you can't get no work done when you're in a meeting.
Right. Not if you're participating and you're being
And
attentive.
then I'm trying to pay more attention to my younger son for some different reasons. We can talk about that later. But our agreement was that I would drive him to work. And so he was like, "Mom, got to go to work." Drove him to work. Came back in a meeting. While I was in that meeting, somebody pinged me and said, "Can you jump in this meeting after that meeting?" And I was like, I guess so. Yeah, I'll jump in that meeting. And so I jumped into that meeting. And then I had to get work done because it was Friday, and I like to have certain things done by Friday because they pull reports on Monday, and I need to be perfect. I don't want you pinging me talking about this is showing up under. I don't like that. So I kept working, and I was like, "What the frick happened today? I don't work that hard." But I did yesterday.
What's going on, guys? Welcome to Conversations with Heath and Tracy, where we are here every Saturday morning at 11 a.m. EST to demystify your move to the DMV. And once again, because Trace and I are such open and transparent people, you can ask us anything.
Can they really ask us anything?
You can ask us anything. Has nothing to do with how I respond.
Yeah.
So it's good to have everyone.
Welcome to the show.
Happy
y'all.
Saturday. Happy Saturday.
Happy Saturday.
You know, Tracy and I are going a little off script today. We're going to have a bit of a different show, so we hope you sit back and enjoy everything with us this morning.
Get a cup of coffee. Get a glass of tea.
Yeah.
Sweet tea, unsweet tea. I do unsweet tea these days.
Do your Saturday morning thing.
The body can't take the sugar.
The Lamars probably know what's happening with that sweet tea game.
I love sweet tea.
If you're in Atlanta, you know about some sweet tea.
I love sweet tea, y'all.
Uh-huh.
But I can't do it anymore.
Yeah, the sugar is serious.
The sugar is the enemy.
You know, they say that the three white poisons, right? White sugar, white salt, white flour.
Are those the only three white poisons?
So I'm gonna just leave that right there.
Okay.
Yeah, so Trace and I are here every Saturday morning, EST, 11 a.m. EST, demystifying your move to the DMV. Today, we are so glad that you joined us today.
Hey, come on in. What we talking about today, baby?
Well, you know, if this is your first time here, I'm Heath.
And I'm Tracy.
Tracy and I are parents, podcasters, and we are joyfully married after 30 years. We have 4 children. So we have a few things to share with people. We Howard University graduates, so we lived in the DMV in our earlier lives, and now we are back in the DMV, and so we are sharing.
Oh my God, that was a lifetime ago.
Because sharing is caring.
That was a lifetime ago, y'all.
So, you know, last week we talked about Potomac, Maryland. We talked about a number of cities in the DMV, and so today we decided just to kind of open up the floor. We're going to talk about multiple areas, multiple parts of the city, multiple parts of the DMV. So if you have questions, think through those. Please post those in the chat if you have questions this morning. We're going to talk about whatever it is that you want to talk about. So put it out there. If you want to know about a certain town, a certain city, a certain area, you have some specific questions around commuting, living in the DMV, moving from wherever you are to the DMV. If you are on the North Carolina thing, that's no worries. We'll talk about North Carolina as well. And so, yeah, so some of these concepts are core to wherever it is that you're moving from, right? Moving from and moving to.
And if you are new here today, hello, welcome to the show.
Type new you down
there. We love to meet you.
Yeah, we want to chop it up, talk with you after the show. So make sure you type new you so we can call you out and have some exchange with you after the show.
Welcome to Conversations with Heath and Tracy.
Yes. Welcome back.
Welcome back.
It's good to have everyone.
So
good to have everyone. Happy
what
Saturday.
have we talked about? We've talked about Arlington. We live in Arlington, by the way.
We do.
We love Arlington.
Arlington is dope.
We live in, we've talked about Alexandria.
Alexandria, Virginia is dope.
We've talked about.
We lived in Alexandria our first time in D.C.
Yes, we did.
Our first go around.
And we tried to live in Alexandria this time.
Yep.
But they don't have FiOS.
Yeah.
Well,
they don't have
the parts we were looking in didn't have.
They don't have the fiber out there.
We need the fiber, y'all.
When you work in tech, you need to have that high speed connection at the crib.
Yeah, we talked about Loudoun County out in Virginia. We're still talking about the Virginia places we talked about.
Yeah, we talked about Loudoun.
We talked about Falls Church.
Falls Church, right up the road.
We've talked about Woodbridge, Virginia.
Woodbridge, Virginia. The IKEA game is strong out there.
Well, there's affordable housing in Woodbridge.
And IKEA.
Okay. We have not been to the IKEA out there in forever.
Oh, but that's that got us through our first years of marriage, though.
It did. That IKEA furniture was working.
Yeah, it was serious.
Okay, then last week we talked about Potomac.
Yeah, we did go out to Potomac last.
Potomac.
Yep, Potomac,
and
Maryland.
And then have we talked about Bethesda? Yes.
I can't remember.
Yes, we talked about Bethesda. We talked about Silver Spring,
Maryland, right above Northwest D.C., right above Howard University.
We've talked about Bowie,
Maryland. Yep. Bowie State, shout out.
PG County.
HBCUs. Bowie
We've
State.
talked about College Park.
College Park, Maryland. We sure did.
In D.C., we talked about the U Street corridor.
U Street, Shaw.
We've
that whole
talked
area.
about Upper Georgia Avenue.
Did we do a whole thing? We didn't do a whole thing on Shaw. U
Maybe
Street
we
yet.
didn't do Shaw.
Yeah, we didn't do that yet. We talked about
We'll
Upper
have to do Shaw. We
Yeah.
talked about Upper Georgia Avenue.
Upper
That's
Georgia
what we
Avenue.
talked about. Walter
Mhm.
Reed, where the old Walter Reed facility was.
Yep, they're redoing all of that. It's going to be beautiful.
It's gonna be really
and they're going
nice.
to have new embassies up there as well.
Yep, they are. We talked
Mhm.
about what's the other one up there?
I know we talked about Upper Georgia,
There's another one in D.C. Oh, Mount Pleasant.
Mount Pleasant. We talked about.
Do we talk about Columbia Heights?
I can't remember. Columbia
We've
Heights.
talked about so many
Yeah,
different places
because
to
we've been
live
doing the
here.
show live every Saturday.
And
for
we just want to say
weeks now,
thank
months.
you for joining us every Saturday. We are going to end this eventually.
Who said that?
Me.
But there's so many places to talk about, baby.
Okay.
So much to do. So many places to go.
You're the boss.
So
I
yeah,
just work here.
So yeah, the DMV is strong. I think there are lots of things happening in the DMV. I think it'll continue to be a job center. So therefore, it becomes a magnet for people to move.
You think it's gonna be a job center?
Well, what I'm saying
Wait.
is, what I'm-
You think it's gonna be a job center? Wait a minute, y'all. Did
The-
he just
the-
say that?
the DMV
He
is a
thinks
job
it's gonna be
center.
a job center.
The DMV is a job center, and the jobs continue to proliferate, right? So anything that's kind of government centric, that's going to be strong here, as well as Amazon coming to the area, bringing at least 25,000 to 40,000 jobs over the next 10 years.
That's
so
a
that's going to
big
be
swing.
another
That's a big. Wait. That's a big swing. 25,000 of
25
40,000.
to 40,000 jobs. Yes.
Where are we getting these numbers
Plus.
from? Wait a minute.
Well, originally with Amazon, you guys may remember when you folks may remember when that was the big push all over the country, and everybody was like, "Hey, Amazon, come over here to our city. Oh, we want you to do your second headquarters
The
in
whole
our city."
bidding for Amazon, right?
So it was like a big thing. It was national news, right? All the cities were putting together their bids and bringing their tax incentives and all these other things to Amazon to see if they can entice them to come to their respective cities. Amazon finally decided that instead of bringing the 50,000 jobs to one particular city, they decided that they were going to bring 25,000 jobs to one city and 25,000 jobs to another city.
And those cities were?
Those cities were Arlington, Virginia, and Long Island, New York. Someplace in New York. I think it was
And then
Long
Long Island,
Long
New-
Island City. I
City.
think they
And
call
then
it.
they said, we don't want it.
No, that's not what happened. That's
Yeah,
not what
pretty
happened.
much.
So
They might as
there
well
was
have.
Amazon had engagement with the governor of New York, with the mayor of New York City,
He's so detailed,
and
y'all. I wouldn't have told
but there
a
were some
story
other
like
local
this.
politicians that were got into the muck and the mire, and I think what's her name, Ocasio. I think she
AOC.
ALC got involved, and
They
there
were
was
like,
some other politician that
It
got
wasn't even her
involved. and
area. It wasn't even her district.
They wanted their pound of flesh, and they want Amazon to do this, and they said y'all not pro union and this, and
So
it was like a
Amazon
whole lot of
said,
politics.
Deuces.
So Amazon said, "Don't worry about it. Don't worry about it.
It's
dog."
okay.
They said we already in New York. We already have jobs in New York, so we'll just continue to grow that organically, and we'll just double down on our investment in Metro DC in Arlington. So it's about a $2.5 billion investment. They're going to be 2 signature towers. The state of Virginia, huh?
I'm sorry, I need a manicure.
That's fine. So the state of Virginia is going to, also contribute a lot to the area and improvements and parks and walkways and improving infrastructure. And they're talking about bringing Route 1 down. It's like a big bridge.
They don't need
So they're doing
all
all of this stuff, right? So that's what's happening.
Yeah.
So
Amazon's
the
moving here.
original number was 50,000 jobs that Amazon announced, and then it was 25 and 25, and then it was 40, and then they did 5,000 jobs in Nashville for, I think they have like a center of excellence or something, and then the rest of the investment, the rest of the new investment was going into Arlington, Virginia, Metro DC, right?
Oh yeah. So let's jump into some questions, y'all. Woo, that was long.
Will you ask me? What's going on, Magda? Good morning. Good morning.
How
What
do
does-
y'all compare the DMV to the ATL
Okay.
for young black couples?
Look, ATL and DMV are two of the blackest cities on planet Earth. I mean, I think they compare very favorably.
No, I don't know about that.
What are you talking about? You don't know about that?
Maybe in the United States.
On planet Earth,
No.
outside of the continent of Africa.
Thank you. Thank you for that clarification.
You will not find more upwardly mobile black people doing all kinds of big things in conjunction with the extended population of black people.
Okay, let me
in
tell
DC
you.
and Atlanta.
I want to tell y'all.
In Metro DC and Atlanta.
The difference between Atlanta and DC.
Okay, break it down for the people, baby.
How do I say this?
You have to be nice.
Oh, I do?
Yes. Well, you
the
don't have
DMV
to be nice. I'll
to
clean it
me,
up for you, baby.
okay, the DMV to me is more educated.
There's a little bit higher education level in Metro DC in terms
overall.
of, if you look at the data and understand
Yeah.
the number of degrees and the overall education level of the people, you know.
Right. So overall,
Okay.
the education level of the people is higher
I can see that.
in
Yep.
DC.
I can see that.
Not to say the education level of the Atlanta people
Mhm.
is low.
Right.
It's just lower
Right.
than DC.
If you're comparing the two.
Right.
I
if
got
we're
it.
comparing the two.
Okay, that's fair.
So the couples that you run into here in DC, the black couples that you run into here in DC,
Mm-hmm.
are going to have higher paying jobs.
Mm-hmm.
Are going to be, lawyers and
Mhm.
doctors and
Tech people and
people,
government.
business owners, government
Mhm.
contractors, working career government
Mhm.
jobs, federal jobs, working for like the FBI and
Mhm.
for the
Three-letter agencies.
CIA, 3-letter agencies.
Mm-hmm.
And they're going to have these career kind of things going on.
Yeah.
They're going to be business owners, like business owners from the
Mhm.
aspect of government contracting
Mhm.
and manufacturing
Right.
and just different types of businesses.
No doubt.
Atlanta,
Mhm.
we lived in Atlanta for 20 years.
Mhm.
Atlanta's a great place.
Yep.
It has gone through a metamorphosis, though.
It has. It has.
So in Atlanta, you're going to get more of that Southern flavor, first of all. So it's a little bit more relaxed.
the flavor that you
Definitely
savor.
more relaxed than living in the DMV, right?
Look, yeah, although that is changing.
It is changing.
Getting a little busier in Atlanta.
Their movie business is really, really popping.
Hustle game.
But let me tell you something. In
Mhm.
Atlanta, you have straight hustle game
Mhm.
going.
Mhm.
You have your MLMs proliferating
Yep,
in
yep.
Atlanta.
True.
You have your small businesses proliferating.
Yep.
You have a lot of trucking type businesses,
Mhm.
a lot of promotion, a
Mhm.
lot of Hollywood type, Hollywood South type things, a lot of
Mhm.
hair,
Yep.
a lot of beauty.
Mhm.
The plastic surgery community is proliferate there. And I'm talking
Mhm.
black people.
Mhm.
Not a lot of
But you also have black people in government.
yeah, but the
Black people
government
running the
situation there
city.
is smaller. The government situation there is smaller.
But they're running the
but
city.
it's just to be honest, it's a few of them.
Yeah.
They're starting to do
yeah.
more in the other cities,
Mhm.
but I don't feel like I feel like you have. Yeah, they're running a lot of the towns there.
Absolutely.
You're right, baby.
Yeah,
You're right.
yeah. The core,
They're running
yeah,
a lot
the
of
core
times there.
of educated crew that comes
So
through the
politics,
AU Center, right?
politics, right.
And so a lot of them are doing big things in Atlanta. A lot of them are high level professionals. They're operating in the political circles. They're in banking and a number of other industries in Metro Atlanta. They're entrepreneurs. They're creating new lines of business all the time.
But I would say that I have had friends say that they wish their younger female children would
Yeah.
leave Atlanta.
Yeah.
Like the 20s and the early 30s, they're like, she needs to get out of here. And I didn't dive into why. I just assumed. I think it's the cultural aspect of what women look like in Atlanta.
Yeah.
I think I was shocked last time I went to Atlanta, the way the women look.
Yeah,
The
a lot of
hair,
enhancement game.
the makeup, the plastic surgery,
Yeah.
the clothes, the whole scene was
Yeah.
shocking to me because I lived there for 20 years.
Yeah.
You don't get that in DC.
Yeah.
DC, you're getting the girl next door
Right.
that's professional,
Mhm.
that is beautiful.
It's the real.
It's the real. You get more real looking bodies here.
Yep, that's
I
true.
think you have a different family feeling here in the DMV.
Dynamics a little different.
I
Mhm.
definitely see more families here
Mhm.
than I do in the Atlanta area. So I love this area for Black families.
Right.
I think we can do it big here.
Yeah.
I think there's a place for us here. Not to say that there is in Atlanta. There is, but not so much families, I think, in Atlanta. I would say that's the biggest difference. What's another question?
Let's see, baby.
All right. So, Esmond, let me tell you something about this fiber group. Let me tell you. So you have to go, when you're getting ready to move here, you have to go. There's only one fiber company here, and it's FiOS. F-I-O-S.
Yeah.
Verizon FiOS. So if you go to their website, put in the address. We've talked about this before, too. If it's important for you to have a speedy connection.
Right.
Fiber is the only way you're going to get that speedy connection for your internet. Now, if you're not a big internet person, if you're not streaming your television, we stream everything.
Right.
Okay,
And
we
then there are
work from
multiple people in the house.
home. There's 7 people that live in our home.
Yep.
And everybody has a streaming device. Everybody watches streaming TV. So we needed fiber.
Yep.
So you have to go to fios.com, I believe that's what it is, and then put in the address of the area you want to live in the DC area, and it will tell you if that area has fiber or not.
Yep.
There are other
Very
options.
important.
They're going to tell you it's fiber. They're going to say it's not. Just so you know.
It's fake fiber.
It's fake fiber. Okay. And then no, it is not in all areas. I'm not sure why it's not in Alexandria. It's like because they have to dig. They actually have to dig in front of your house and put in the fiber.
Infrastructure,
The construction. And I think Alexandria is too low.
You think?
Because it's a port city.
You mean like below sea level?
Yeah, I'm not sure. They just haven't gotten there
We have
yet.
to see what the blockers are.
Looky.
Look at that. It's my brother.
That is amazing. We love you, Justin.
What's up, Jesse?
We love you too. Now,
Beautiful love. Shout
do
out
they
to
look
my
alike
man.
guys or what? You know, he can't deny it at all.
Okay, so my brother looks like me. That's fine.
Good morning, Care 007. Welcome to the show.
What's up, Care? Shout out to the regulars.
Welcome to the show. Justin, you know I'm going to try to be. You
I
know
cleaned
me.
it up for you, Justin.
Yeah,
It's okay.
It's a team effort here.
It's all right. It's yin and yang.
So I'm here via your North Carolina. Oh, welcome. That is our highest
Appreciate it.
viewed video on our YouTube channel. I have not checked
It
lately,
is.
but it's over 250,000 views.
Something like that.
The family is moving to Charlotte.
Okay, Charlotte. Queen City.
Charlotte's cool. Queen City.
Yeah.
Why did you guys leave North Carolina? And would you ever move back?
Wow. So I never say never. I think the 10 years that we lived in North Carolina, it was good for us. It was good for our family.
Yeah,
it was good for our careers, right? So it served its purpose, right? And so, if you believe like us, you understand that there's a season for things. And so I think that, for us, it was a season of our lives. And but who knows if we could ever be drawn back to North Carolina. I think it's possible, but not probable.
No. My answer is no. And
Queen Tracy was not the biggest North Carolina fan.
North Carolina, we left North Carolina.
Okay, but let me just put a pin in that just for 1 second.
Okay.
I just want to talk about Charlotte for a second.
Oh,
What we liked about Charlotte was that it reminded us of a sort of a younger Atlanta. And the other thing that I like about Charlotte is that it's only 4 hours from Atlanta. So if you want to do something different on the weekend, you can buzz down there and turn up and do some things culturally.
And we did.
So I think that was cool. It's only two.
We went to the Ritz-Carlton. We went to the Ritz-Carlton. That's the only thing, y'all. The Ritz-Carlton. They only got one Ritz-Carlton in North Carolina.
It's fine. It's fine.
What? One Ritz-Carlton in the whole state. So we went to the one Ritz-Carlton.
We went to the Ritz-Carlton. We were kicking it one
Let me
evening.
say it again. The one Ritz-Carlton in the whole state.
We were in the
And
Ritz-Carlton.
we ran into our fellow alumni.
Our fellow
Alumni.
Howardite. He wasn't alumni.
He was
then.
in school. Yes,
he was in school.
Yeah,
he
Nick
was in
Cannon. Just so you know.
We met Nick Cannon.
So that's how small it is.
We met Nick Cannon at
It's like we chilling in the Ritz-Carlton. We're like, oh hey
the
Nick, what's
Ritz-Carlton in
up?
Charlotte. Yo, man, let's take a picture.
So Charlotte is small. If you want to, if anything's going on in Charlotte, you want to meet some celebrities, go to Charlotte. You'll meet them.
Because it's only the other thing I was going to say is that it's only 2.5 hours from Raleigh Durham, and so that's cool to get up to Raleigh Durham and do some stuff.
Why did I think it was 1.5?
No, it's 2.5. And then you can also get to
maybe I make it 1.5.
You can also get to the mountains of North Carolina pretty easily from
the
Charlotte.
Mountains. Okay, y'all. I do love the mountains of North Carolina.
yeah.
I do. Oh, that just gives me something right there.
Beautiful. The air
my
is
gosh.
clean and clear.
I feel closer
right?
to God. It's
Asheville
just
is
something
dope.
amazing.
The mountains are dope.
It's
Western
amazing.
North
Go.
Carolina dope.
Just go.
Yeah.
Don't even
so
hesitate. Go.
that's-
No, it's not Hillbillyville.
It's
No,
God's
it's none of that
country out
stuff.
there, no doubt.
It's God's country. The people are nice. Yes, they're different from you.
Right.
But they are nice. Go to the mountains of North
Shout
Carolina.
out to the
Go.
to the mountains of North Carolina.
So
there you
why
go.
did we leave? We left because he had a fantastic job opportunity in the DMV.
Yep.
Why did we really leave? Because we manifested that mess.
That's
We were
another-
like, we
another
want to
pro tip.
raise up out of North Carolina.
What
We
have we
said
done?
that about 3 years ago.
We did.
And we just started thinking about it. We started looking at it. We started coming more often. Our daughters were here already. We just manifested it. So when we started looking for a new job, and I say we because it's a we kind of situation with us.
Yep. The two become one.
Yes. We gravitated toward DC. We
Right.
gravitated toward wanting to be back home, and this is kind of home to us. And so when the job opportunity just went bloop, it just plopped right. Sorry about that. It just plopped right down in front of us, and bam, here we are. We are here because we wanted to be here.
There you go.
We left North Carolina because we no longer wanted to be there.
And very simple answer.
North Carolina is very vanilla.
Yeah.
North Carolina is very
for
beautiful,
us. For us.
but it's a little too bland for us.
Right.
It's very, very chicken noodles, Campbell's chicken noodle soup. Yeah.
All right. Next thing. What else you want to talk about, baby? Who else has a question? Who has a comment?
Cara, that
up
was
here?
thank you for the glasses. Let me tell you the story about the glasses real quick.
She might
So-
be complimenting my glasses.
Okay. She just said love the glasses. Which ones? These or these? I don't remember where I got these from. These are not the real designer ones.
Okay.
I don't play that. I don't spend my money like that. Well, sometimes I do.
Yeah,
but
sometimes, baby.
not for glasses.
Not
'cause
frequently,
You're gonna
though.
lose them.
Not frequently.
Okay, so the glasses.
Mm-hmm.
Let me tell you the story of glasses. So I have some regular
Some readers. Regular readers.
No, I have these. These
Oh,
right
those
here
are prescription.
cost me an arm and a leg.
Yeah.
I'm talking an arm and a leg.
Right.
With insurance, y'all. I'm ashamed to say how much they were.
It's okay, baby. It's all right.
And
Uh-huh.
I keep losing them.
Okay.
I just went on this site. It's called Peepers. No, we're
Peepers.
not getting paid to send you there. It's called
Yeah.
Peepers.
We might have to look them up, see if we can get
Get a little affiliate or something. But
Yeah.
it's called Peepers, Peepers.
Yeah.
I think Oprah has a thing with them or
Does
something.
she? Okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
And you go on there, you figure out what the readers are, because we're just readers. That's it.
Right.
And you just pick your last $25, y'all.
Yep.
$25. $25.
Yeah.
$25. So I got me 2 pair, and I got him 2 pair.
Yep. And this is one of them.
Yep. So Peepers, check it out. And then Justin says, what is the logistics and trucking industry looking like in DV? Let me tell you about the trucking business. My brother is in the trucking business. Shaw, I'm going to just say that because he knows who that is.
Yeah.
And he is living his best life. Can I just say that?
I mean, the logistics game is real, right? Because so many of the goods and services that we receive, come through trucking in some form or fashion, right? And I think that as the area continues to proliferate, you're going to have more and more people here. You have more and more places and outlets where you need things, right? And so whether it's grocery stores or other types of retail outlets, wholesale places, wherever it is, right?
You need to move stuff around.
Yeah, the stuff has to move around. And the other thing I'll say is that Amazon also is another component of that, right? And so they have people that are delivering things for the last mile. And so I'm sure many of you have seen the Amazon folks or FedEx. I went old school right there, Federal Express. The FedEx
No,
folks
that's
and
new
UPS
school. That's what they
folks.
call themselves. You said Federal Express.
Yeah,
Oh,
yeah.
yeah, we don't say that anymore.
But the point is that the last mile is becoming bigger and bigger, more and more important. People have the expectation of getting things faster and faster, right? And so I think logistics in general is a big opportunity.
Yeah, and what I'll say about logistics in the DMV is that you have Baltimore to Richmond, if you
Right.
think about that. And you can get from Baltimore and Richmond in no time
That's
around here.
that's a really good point, baby.
Yeah. So if you live in this area and have a trucking business in this area, you literally can stay busy just moving goods within this area,
Yeah.
just from Baltimore to Richmond.
Yeah.
And so when you think about that, everybody thinks about trucks and they think about those big giant semi trucks. Well, I was watching TikTok the other day and this guy brought up the
TikTok.
point that he just had a regular big like F-150,
Yep.
and then he added a big long trailer to it, and he
Okay.
was carrying big stuff just like the semis carry.
Okay.
And he was getting paid $5,000, $7,000, $3,000 for his loads that weren't taking him like days to go across,
Yeah.
whole states and everything.
Hustle game.
So check out the Hustle Game with the trucking businesses. There are a lot of young men that look like us out there really jumping into this industry.
Very true.
And it's open to a lot of people. And Justin, I just told you who to reach out to if you want more information. He's always in South America though, so
It's okay, baby.
yes, it's
He
okay.
can get a hold of
You know how to get a hold of him. And yes, you are welcome. Hello, Crumb 919.
My man. What's good?
919 is area code
What's
in North
good,
Carolina, y'all. Raleigh to be
That's my
exact.
guy. That's my guy right there.
Thank you. Oh yeah, Fios is the business.
Yep.
Fios is the business.
No
My
doubt.
daughter had been raving about Fios
Yeah.
for years, and we were like, we don't have Fios in North Carolina.
Yeah, I mean, if you just think about the number of people in a house, right? There's 7 people. You start thinking about devices, right? Everybody's got a cell phone. Tracy's got computers. I got computers. Everybody has their own computer.
And we're live streaming to you right now.
Yeah, we're live streaming. We're live streaming television that we're watching. We cut the cable on, so we don't have cable
don't have
television.
cable,
we don't have satellite TV, which we had for years. So yeah, the Fios is performed very well for us. Yep.
Yeah, Care 007. They only have one Ritz Carlton.
It was nice though.
It was tiny. It was the smallest Ritz Carlton I've ever been in.
We were like in the what
like,
they call
this
it,
the Ritz
uptown. In Charlotte, they call it downtown uptown, which is really interesting. But
yeah,
but
we
that's
were in
where,
Uptown,
but that's where it was.
and
It was
the Ritz Carlton
it
is
was
in the
fun.
middle of Uptown.
It was fun.
So let's see. S. Smith asks, so what's the biggest difference between Maryland and Virginia?
Well, let's see.
So wait. We got to tell them what our friends say. So y'all
in Virginia.
Y'all live in Virginia. So all of our
Howard friends.
all of our friends. I told you I ran into. Okay, I didn't tell y'all this. So I went to
Okay.
this little fair the other day. This little vendor fair the other day.
Yep.
Not too far from my house,
Mhm.
and I ran into a friend that I had not seen in over 30 years.
Yep.
We were best friends my first 2 years at Howard.
Howard besties.
And you just kind of drift apart and everything. And lo and behold, I see her, and it's like, "What are you doing here?" And she's
What are you
like, "What are
doing?"
you doing here?" And so the first thing she said to me, this is weird. She says, "I never come to Virginia." And I was like, what is the deal? So Heath and I have always lived in Virginia. Even when we went to Howard, we had a place.
We lived in Maryland. For a minute.
No, we lived in Maryland while we were in school. Once
Hyattsville,
we
Maryland.
graduated,
Shout
we lived
out.
in D.C. too. And then, but for the most, when we had our daughter, she was younger, we lived in Virginia.
Mm-hmm.
And there is this historical connotation to living in Virginia and being a person of color.
Virginia's the South.
Virginia is the South. Maryland is the South too. Don't get it twisted. Delaware is even the South.
Mason-Dixon line. Look it
So
up.
check what the Mason-Dixon line is. Everything below that is strictly the South.
Right.
Yes, they had whatever you want to think about. So what you want to do is not be caught up in the connotations of what people think about either of the states. So what I think the difference is, and what he thinks the difference is I think Virginia, or Northern Virginia to be exact, is lighter. It is lighter for the most part. I don't believe that wholeheartedly, because when I don't feel like it is, because everywhere I
is.
go I see people of color. When I go to the restaurants, it's no different than when I go
it's
to
very
Maryland.
Diverse area. It's very diverse.
It's
area.
very diverse.
Yeah.
When I cross the river and I drive through beautiful neighborhoods in Maryland, they just don't look different than Virginia to me. So the cost of living is different in the states. So Maryland's cost of living is, to me, a little bit higher when it comes to housing. Your actual house is cheaper, and you get more house. You get a big house, you get a lot of land, and you get more house for less.
So you mean the cost of living is a little lower in
No.
that regard?
No.
So you're saying that you get more bang for the buck in Maryland as it relates to your property.
To your property.
A little bit bigger house, bigger property, more land.
Yeah.
For the same cost.
They
that you
drive
would
faster in
Virginia.
Maryland too.
They drive faster in Maryland, and my hypothesis is because it's a little further from the city center.
And they have more like open
More
roads
lanes
and
and
stuff. They have
stuff.
more lanes. So
I think another difference, baby, is that most of Maryland feels similar. I mean, Eastern Shore certainly is a bit different, But with Virginia, it's almost like you have two Virginias, with Northern Virginia and Southern Virginia.
I don't even talk about Southern Virginia.
Well, but I'm saying she asked about what the difference is between Maryland and Virginia.
But I think Northern Maryland is different than the part of Maryland that's close to D.C.
But I think the nuance there is,
or the
is
Eastern
that
Shore.
Maryland, from a political perspective, is primarily left.
Oh yeah.
Whereas Virginia, Northern Virginia is primarily left, but when you get into Southern Virginia,
it would be red. If they split
right.
Northern Virginia and Southern Virginia into
right.
two different states, Southern Virginia would be red.
So that's a big difference in terms of the states. So
yeah.
I just wanted to call that out.
But yeah, living in Northern Virginia to me is like living in DC. Living in Maryland outside of DC is like living in Maryland.
Yeah.
I would say that, because when you get to Maryland, you just get more land, you get more roads, you get it seems like there's more people or something.
But the areas right around the outskirts of DC that are in Maryland, like Chevy Chase and those areas feel DC-ish as well.
Yeah, you have to be real close though. But you
yeah.
can go almost anywhere in Northern Virginia and it just feels like you're in DC.
Right.
It's just very, it's just the same. So I think you're going to pay more money for your home in Virginia, and you're not going to get as large of a home.
Right.
But the homes here everywhere in the DC area, except for DC proper, are huge.
Yeah.
So
There's some big houses in DC.
It's some big. I mean, I thought Atlanta had big houses. Atlanta don't have anything on DC's houses and the size of these houses. They're huge.
What else we got, baby?
What I think the job situation. The job situation is equivalent. I think DC and Maryland and Virginia. There's so many jobs here in the suburbs, in the exurbs, in the city centers.
Right.
All right. What'd you say? Oh, thank you. She said both.
Shout out to Kid.
I cannot remember the name of these either, but they're just square. They're square. Look for oversized. I have a big head. So no, I don't have a big head. Do I have a big head?
No,
I don't know. But anyway, I get the oversized ones.
It's all good.
That's what you want to look at, Care Double 7. Oversized on peepers. And then Chantal says, what does school start in the area? 6th grader. What does school?
I think she probably meant, she said, when does school start?
Oh, when?
When does school start? Yeah.
Ooh, we don't have
question.
school age kids.
Yeah, Chantal, that's not we're not.
But
as
we
up
can
on
find
it as
out.
We,
Wait.
Yeah, we
can
definitely
find out. Let
out.
me see if I can find out.
We definitely can find out. But
let me see.
But we can come back to that, baby.
Yeah, you can. Go ahead.
We can come back to that question.
Let's see. Arlington Public Schools, because they all start about the same. So it looks like they've gone back to the regular 10-month calendar. And so I think they are going to start, let's see, it looks like they're going to start, it looks like September, guys. They start after Labor Day here.
Do you remember?
They? EPL, yeah, it looks like they start after Labor Day.
Arlington starts in September.
That's what's going on with school in the DMV. They start after Labor Day. Which is, I think, is better, because it doesn't make any sense to go to school and then get out. Like
I've been saying that to my coworkers and colleagues and people who've been asking me about kind of some regularity of going back into the office and that kind of thing. And I think that a lot of the companies are really targeting after Labor Day.
After Labor Day, because the kids
to begin to say,
hey,
all right, everybody's vaccinated.
Right.
Okay, so if you feel comfortable enough, I think that it's really kind of time to return to the office. So I think in conjunction with kids going back to school, schools opening back up, I think Labor Day is going to be the key time frame.
Yep.
What else we got?
So the next question is, how have the cicadas been so far?
The cicada day.
So they have shown their little ugly faces.
Oh yeah, cicadas are definitely in the building.
I don't know if they can hear this.
It's fine, babe. No, they probably can't. You have to put it up to your earphone or something.
Let's see.
I can hear it. That means they can probably hear it.
Can y'all hear that constant sound?
The cicadas are here, y'all.
They're here.
So when we look out into the yard, we can see a few of them flying around, right? So there's sort of like if you can envision what it's like to look out into your yard or to your property and you see butterflies. It's kind of like that right now. They haven't overtaken everything
Not yet.
yet.
They're coming though.
But they are definitely here. They're definitely coming.
Yeah.
We're seeing them more and more frequently. So yeah, it's kind of funny too. Like they're in their shells and then they come out of their shells, I guess, when they have wings, And so, like, you can
Their
see
shells are stuck on the leaves. It's ugly. It's ugly.
It's so
I don't
weird.
like them.
It's so weird. It's
But but the weird thing is we came back from dinner last night. Oh,
Yep.
we had a beautiful dinner in town, by the way.
we did.
And it was quiet.
Mm-hmm.
And I heard that they're between, I think, the hours of 7 and 8 or something. They
Mm-hmm.
don't sing.
Mm-hmm.
I guess they're asleep or something. I don't know. But there was no
They're
noise.
tired. They were
But
calling for the
surely
honeys all
I
day.
woke up this morning and I was like, what is the noise level? And so the noise level is there again.
The dudes calling for the young ladies all day.
Come and get it. Hi, Nev Santos. Welcome to the show. What do you think of D.C. becoming so expensive that there are counties of exurbs, like
Counties
Jefferson
of
County,
exurb.
West Virginia, and parts of Central Virginia?
Yeah.
So it's bound to happen because of the opportunity here.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
You have so much opportunity here
Yeah.
that it's just bound to happen.
Yeah.
And they said the whole idea of Amazon moving here and moving 25 to 40,000 people to work here and everything
Mm-hmm.
tells us that housing is going to be tight.
Yeah. It's already tight.
It's very tight. When I go on realtor.com and I
Mm-hmm.
scroll through, everything is under contract. Everything is pending, everything is under contract, everything is contingent. There is nothing. The only thing you see is new, under contract, pending, contingent. There's nothing just sitting there. The stuff that's sitting there is $3 million.
Yeah.
So I guess you can get a couple, 3-4 families together and buy one house. It's
Uh-huh.
ridiculous. It is really ridiculous.
I think that's another reason why you're seeing more and more multi-generational families moving in together,
I
right?
did see that article today.
Yeah, because that was something that we did, right? During the start of the panorama,
Yep.
we were like, "Hey, we got to bring everybody in. Let's close ranks. Let's protect one another. Let's pool our resources. Let's be about it, and proliferate through it." And so,
And I think that's going
it's-
to be the future.
Yeah.
That's going to be the future of real estate in this country because it's
Mhm.
so expensive to own real estate here.
Mhm,
I think you're going to see multi-generational housing. They're already starting to do it out west.
Yeah,
I think
gonna
it's
say,
something
like
to
Vegas,
consider.
right?
Yeah,
Vegas
out west
and,
they've done it.
mhm,
Vegas, California, parts of California,
mhm.
they are building multi-generational housing. My mother actually has an apartment in my home
Mhm.
in the bottom level.
Right.
Beautiful down there. She
It
has her
is.
own kitchen, share her own space. She's got a little door she leaves that we can tell if she wants to talk to us or not and everything. So it's just really, really,
That's that's the trend, and you're
It's-
gonna see that more and more.
yeah, it's
Yeah.
a trend, and you're
Yeah.
going to see it more and more. You do if you're single, you want to consider roommates when you first move to this area. I just don't know how you transition into the area without roommates. You had a coworker recently do just that. She moved to the area, or she lived in the area already. She had roommates. She finally said enough of this, and she finally got her own place. But it's a transitional period that you have to go through to do that. Now, if you're a family moving here, hold your britches and save your money if you are looking to buy a home.
Bring the bag.
And one thing I found is that you can live anywhere. You can live
Absolutely.
in Potomac. You can live in Chevy Chase. You can live in all
You can
these
find a spot.
really. You can find. You just have to get the help.
Yeah.
Get the help of a realtor. We've said this over and over. Get the help of a realtor. They're going to give you that extra the information that you're going to need. Now,
And
as
all
far
the-
as the excerpts, he asked about the excerpts.
Okay.
As far as the exurbs are concerned, that's not for us. If that's something for you, that is definitely an option. The beautiful counties outside of the DMV area, it's gorgeous out
Yeah.
there. We go out there, wine country, and we go out there to do little different activities and stuff. It's just too far, and the traffic here is atrocious.
Yeah.
It's not as bad as it is in Atlanta because you have so many different avenues to get around,
Yeah.
but it is bad.
I think another a component of Need's question is really around the affordability and people moving further and further out into the
There was an
into
article,
the exurbs, right?
Yeah, I'll
And
put
so-
an article in this video that talked about that exactly, as a matter of fact,
Yeah.
and how much it's changed since 1970.
And so it's been like that for decades around here, right? And the people will live in West Virginia, people will live in Delaware, people will live in places that are certainly either beyond tertiary markets, right? These are exurbs, to your point, suburbs of exurbs.
It's always been
And,
like that.
So I think in this kind of post-panoramic world, though, sometimes those things you can live kind of wherever you want, and if your job or your role is centered in a general place, you can still get there via train or some other options in terms of commuting.
That's the beauty.
But you can also have some kind of hybrid work from home scenarios as well. And so I think you'll continue to see this hybrid approach over the next 20 years.
And that's the beauty of it, Neve, is that we do have the trains. And so if you live out in those exurbs, you do have the ability to still get to work on a daily basis without putting the miles on your car and all of that. So that's something to definitely consider if you're, and we talk about that moving to this area. You can live out in those. Didn't you say you talked to someone that lives way out there somewhere?
Yeah, one of my coworkers, he probably lives 50 miles outside of the core area of the city.
Right. And so
he takes the train in.
Takes the train in. He's got acreage, right?
I don't know about acreage, but I mean, he has a little space.
And so
it's
it's definitely an option. You just have to figure out if that's your preference, if that's the lifestyle that you want to live.
I think we need some transition.
Some transition. Give us a little. Let's see what we're gonna listen to. Let me give you some. I haven't heard this one in a while.
Get the people
let's
something
see
right
what
here.
we got here. I don't know what this one is.
Yes.
It's called Overthinking. And if you want to know where we get a lot of our music from, it's from Epidemic Sound. You do have to subscribe and everything.
Right.
But it's pretty good music. It's not going to be on the radio or anything like that, but it's really, really good music.
This is part of the show where we'll transition a little bit. Typically, we're going into some different subject matter when we have these transitional breaks.
But we're not doing that today.
But today, we're just going to pause for the cause while Queen Tracy gets her swerve on over here with her mirror glasses, making it happen, Captain, out here rocking the red lip. And we're all here for it, Queen Tracy.
He likes it, y'all. I'm going to tell you.
Well, we thank you guys for joining us.
We do. You don't have to be here, and we just want to say thank you.
It's a beautiful Saturday, wherever you are, hopefully. And we're going to transition to a few more questions.
Okay, what do we have here?
Let's see.
I need my glasses. Hang on.
Get your eyes back on, baby.
Okay. Woo, there we go.
All right, cool. What you got?
Let's see. Nev has another question for us.
Is it Neve or Nev?
Because
when I see the NEV, I think about that guy from Catfish.
Oh, I love Catfish. Neve. Neve is my name.
Like,
this channel needs to have 50,000 subscribers.
Oh, look at that. We appreciate
We receive.
Shout out to Neve. Appreciate that love.
We love that. We
Appreciate
love that.
Yes.
Let's see. Have you noticed if Howard has an expanding influence in the area, especially with recent increased exposure?
Look, Kid Double, so let me tell you something about my esteemed alma mater.
We love Howard, y'all. We just, when you say Howard University, we just go, ugh. It's just one of those places.
Yeah, no, I think that that's very astute that she's noticing that, and I think that President Frederick cannot receive enough credit for the work that he's been doing over there the last few years, right? And I think that Howard has always been very prominent in the community, very prominent in the metro area, and making phenomenal contributions to the world at large, for that matter, right?
Yeah.
And I think that over the last few years, you've seen some things that really tie into its increasing of its reputation, as well as what the alumni are doing. And a lot of that is being driven by President Frederick, and so I just wanted to call that out.
And the beauty of it, guys, is that HBCUs are so important to people of color in our communities and what's done in the work that they do. And I think Howard being the preeminent HBCU, and we have a mission to continue to lift as we climb.
Truth and service.
Truth and service. So because we have that mission of lifting as we climb, it's not just about Howard University.
Right.
And what you understand is that whenever you see Dr. Frederick speaking about Howard University, he always mentions HBCUs, because that's what's most important. It's not just about Howard University. We understand the spotlight. We understand the alumni. We understand all of the aspects of being the preeminent HBCU,
right,
and what comes along with that. And we accept that responsibility and understanding that the other HBCUs need to be lifted up just as much as Howard University.
Amen.
Love you, Justin. We will tell the family you said hello.
One love, Justin.
what does the hair industry look like for relocating hairstylists?
Mm-hmm.
I think the DMV is wide open for
Absolutely.
this.
Mm-hmm.
I see if you ever move to the area or any area that you move to, make sure you join the app called Nextdoor. And I've mentioned this before.
Mm-hmm.
And what Nextdoor does is it puts you in touch with the people that live in your vicinity. So it tells you like what's crime is going on and street closures and what's going on in schools and what happened at their house. And you can jump on there and literally say, what hairstylist or what barber can I go to? They even have a Black cultural aspect within it, and you can form your own groups. It's really, really cool. So what I have found on Nextdoor is a lot of people get on there and they're like, I can't find a hairstylist.
Mm-hmm.
I can't find, and there're just not that many hairstylists here that do natural hair or do different types of hairstyles. There are a lot of stylists here that braid and lock.
Mm-hmm.
That we don't need more of here.
Mm-hmm.
But just generally, hairstylists are in need in the DMV, and you could really establish your own following. You could establish your own everything here. I think it's a great place for a hairstylist to start.
Good, Tracy.
Hi, everyone. Good morning, Libby.
Hey,
Welcome
what's up,
to
Libby?
the show.
Welcome back.
Good morning, Harold. Hi, big, long time fam.
Okay.
Your family, it says, my family and I are moving to Maryland. Oh, great.
Mm-hmm.
Columbia or Greenbelt. I think that's what GB is.
Mm-hmm.
Coming to visit next week for a couple of days to
Okay,
check
yeah.
it out.
Okay.
What locations you advise we visit?
All
so
of them.
definitely go to Columbia, hang out in Columbia. And what you want to do
Uh-huh.
there is figure out the housing situation, because that's
Mm-hmm.
what's most important first.
Mm-hmm.
See how you feel about the housing prices, the housing location.
Mm-hmm.
And if you need schools, then that's the next thing you want to check out on that list. You want to actually go, talk to the people in that area. If you do find a house or a neighborhood you like, then you want to look at the services around there. What kind of services are offered here? How close
Right.
is the grocery store?
Yep.
How close is, regular, like pick up something at the hardware store? How close is all of that stuff?
Yep.
Then you want to see, what is my commute going to be like?
Where I got to go to work? Am I
'Cause
working from the house?
That right there. And what the easiest thing to do is you get on the Google Maps
Mm-hmm.
at the time you would actually leave your home
Mm-hmm.
and look at it. And you can see how red it is or how yellow it is or whatever. And that's a little trick that Heath and I did to find this place.
Yep.
It was I would be in North Carolina, but I would jump on the Google and I would put in the addresses of the homes I was looking at and then his place of work to see what it looked like at that time.
Yep.
And that was even during the pandemic. And I
that's-
still did it because it just didn't change that much.
And that continues to change, right?
Yeah.
As things begin to open up and you see more and more traffic upticking. And so just understand that there might be a moving target of sorts.
Right, exactly. So like that's a really cool area. I think that you just want to concentrate on the things that are most important to your family.
Yep.
And then focus in on those things. Other places like that area are Rockville, I believe, and Gaithersburg,
Yeah,
and North Bethesda.
Yeah. And like my buddy Joe lives in Mitchellville, and I think he commutes to
Mitchellville?
Greenbelt.
Yeah, he does commute.
It's
So
not bad at
Bowie
all.
is good, and Mitchellville, Bowie,
Kettering.
it's the other part of PG County.
Landover.
Yeah, they have a really beautiful home out in there in that area.
Yeah.
Yeah. Eastern Shores depends. I think Libby's talking to somebody else.
Okay.
It says, thanks. Hi, Magda. How are you? Welcome to the show. Thanks. I keep hearing ATL and DMV are great for Black entrepreneurs.
Mm-hmm.
Can you compare the types of businesses Black people are starting in the ATL versus the DMV? Yeah, we touched on that a little bit earlier.
Yeah, Magda asked that question earlier. Well,
Oh,
she
she
asked the other question earlier, so I think
She
she's
did.
tying those together about the young Black couples, and so actually the answer is very similar, right? And I think you have an assortment of entrepreneurship that's happening in both places, right?
Right.
I think Atlanta is becoming more of a place for creatives, right? And
Yeah, I agree.
I think that that whole movie TV piece is proliferating.
It
and
is.
so there's a lot of entrepreneurship that's sprouting up around and connected to that. You're also seeing the same thing here, but I think that the sort of the nature of some of the businesses changes. But I believe that whatever it is that you're pursuing, you're going to have success and support in both areas.
Yeah, I think it's wide open for our community in
It is.
both places.
Mhm.
I think it's only going to be limited by what you limit within yourself.
Yes.
Hairstyling,
Mhm.
creative. There are a lot of movie type people here too. Believe it or not, there's a lot of those the companies that are around. A lot of the reality shows you see are here. Sirius XM is here. A lot of TV is here too. The other thing, just like it is in Atlanta, they don't have the studios like they do in Atlanta, but the businesses are here. The other thing is that you have more professional type businesses here, as far as doctors and attorneys and things like that. I see a lot of black doctors showing up in this area, which I love.
Right.
And then you have, so if you're a doctor or a dentist or something like that, there's a lot of opportunity for you here. The other thing is government contracting is a lot of it here also. So because you're so close to the mothership, so to speak, that you're in a community of people that are in that same business.
Yep.
So in Atlanta, it's more geared around Hollywood and what's going on there and politics. A lot of truckers, a lot of hustle, a lot of MLMs are in the Atlanta area, small type businesses, and the growth, opening restaurants and places like that. But that's the same thing happening here. There's ice cream shops here owned by black people, and I think there's a new vegan burger out there called Go Legendary that was on Shark Tank. They're out of the DMV, and they're now in all of the grocery stores just about here. Congratulations to them.
Yeah.
And it's just a lot of opportunity in both places. I think the biggest difference is Atlanta's a little bit cheaper to live in than the DMV, and there are less people in Atlanta than in the DMV. But cultural aspect, they're completely different to me.
What else we got, baby?
Let's see. Creative Binder. Hi, Creative Binder. Welcome to the show. It says, what is the optimal area for a multiracial family with a teen and a 6-year-old? Live in North Carolina. I am a lady of color. Can't break that ceiling of growth. I am a healthcare professional, RN, soon to be MP. Yeah, that's something that we talked about living in North Carolina, and one of the reasons why we wanted to leave. We felt there was a ceiling. We felt there was a place that you get to in the professional areas in North Carolina, and they will not let you past it.
Now, I think the other side of that is if you're a multiracial couple, I think there's a lot of that in North Carolina where you would feel comfortable around, just depending on the area that you're in, right?
Yeah.
And I think a strong influence for that is Fort Bragg and a lot of the military families. So you see that a little more frequently there, as well as the universities, right? And so with North Carolina State, Duke, North Carolina, East Carolina, right? There's a lot of interracial dating, a lot of interracial marriage, and those kinds of things. And so
I would stay close to the city centers, though.
Yeah.
I would stay closer into Raleigh.
I don't know if I want to be in the country.
I would get out of the rural areas to get a little bit more upward mobility.
Yeah.
Because the closer you are to the city centers, the more diverse it's going to be, the more likely you'll have some type of advocate for you in the upper ranks that can help you actually push yourself, to get to those higher areas.
Yeah.
But that's one of the reasons we left North Carolina. We just felt like there was definitely a ceiling there that was difficult to break.
Completely agree.
Okay. Yes. I want all my children to attend HBCUs.
Shout out to HBCUs.
It's going to really, really round them out. It's going to make them become who they are going to be without any, it's just going to really open up their whole way they look at the world,
Yeah.
Okay, yes. One time for HBCUs, Albany State, yes.
Shout out to Lamar,
shout out.
Albany State. I got some friends that went
Good
to Albany
morning,
State,
Russell.
no doubt.
Good morning. Welcome
What's
to
up,
the
Russ?
show.
Always good
Welcome
to see you,
to
Russ.
the
Welcome
show.
back. Welcome back. Appreciate your
Let's
service,
see.
Russ.
Libby says stress levels are high. It's time to return to Nova gets closer. Oh no! Don't stress out. Don't stress out.
No,
we
no.
talked about this a little bit too, didn't we?
As a man thinketh.
So he is.
So I think what you want to do is just keep a PMA, right? Positive mental attitude around that whole scenario. People are being vaccinated more and more. People are more cognizant around mask wearing and that kind of thing, right? And so we see people outdoors, people indoors still wearing masks, even though we've got some different messaging from the CDC and other sources. I think businesses are sort of taking it upon themselves to keep their own approach independent of what the advice is. And so I think at the end of the day, you want to just use some common sense around how you're approaching, how you're moving around out there. I think we've learned so much in the panorama around cleanliness, how we keep ourselves clean, our homes, our cars clean.
Don't wear your home shoes, your outside shoes in the house, guys.
That's another pro tip.
You need to stop doing that.
I think that I think that keeping your hands clean certainly continues to be something of importance. And I think another thing that wasn't talked about quite enough during the panorama is really doing things to boost your immune system, right? And so that has to do with what you're eating, the supplements that you're taking, and then of course all of that is pulled together with your thinking, right? And so I think that all of those things combined will certainly keep you safe and healthy, and just use your common sense around if you're in big crowds, or if you're going to a ball game, or if you're in the middle of downtown, whatever it is. I think that if you're just being smart and you have your vaccinations, you're gonna be fine.
Let's just take a moment to just take a breath, because I know we do a lot of talking about what it's like to live here and how to prepare to move here, and your thoughts about living or relocating anywhere. And just take a moment, close your eyes, take a deep breath in your nose, out through your mouth, and just understand where you are right now, and be in gratitude of where you are right now.
Yes.
Be grateful for your food, your shelter, your opportunity,
your health.
Think about your new place, and that it's going to be the same. It's going to be peaceful, and it's going to be everything you want it to be. So release any fear, because fear is that enemy. So you want to release any fear that you have around newness.
Yes.
Anytime negativity comes in, you need to figure out a way to let it go right away. You need to work toward letting it go right away. So just understand that and release any of that stress and fear, and actually take time. Take a bubble bath. Go for a walk. Go look at a tree. It's just not that important. And stress is a killer. Okay, Libby? We love you. Yes,
Beautiful
outside shoes, stay outside. Okay,
No doubt.
and I'm going to tell y'all, just to give y'all a visual. Heath is going to not agree with this.
Well, you talking about when
So
we were eating yesterday?
We went out to dinner yesterday, and we're sitting outside because we prefer to sit outside.
We're in the middle of Washington, D.C.
Beautiful day.
In the city.
People are out. No masks. No masks. You know, everybody's just outside eating. It's just beautiful. The little breeze in the air. But we're sitting like next door to the entrance and exit of a apartment building, a high rise.
Yep.
And people are coming in and out, walking their dogs. Because, you know, it's the end of the day. I got to go home, get the dog, walk the dog. This dog comes out, and he literally been in the house all day, I guess. And he comes out, he pees.
He's like, I can't go nowhere else.
He couldn't go any further. He just peed, boom, right there in the middle of the walkway. Everybody's walking
on the sidewalk.
And I mean, he was ripping it for like a minute.
Yeah, he let it go.
There's nothing she could do. And of course, it was on the sidewalk.
It was there. It did sort of start drifting around to like the sewer grate,
Stop,
the manhole cover.
Stop. Mind you, at least 50 other people walked through his pee. And so I pointed to I said, this is why I don't like shoes in the house.
City living.
It's terrible. It's terrible. And I wanted to tell everybody, please don't wear your shoes. Don't wear those. The dog, I wanted to tell everybody that walked by.
Look.
You just walked in dog piss.
If you live in the city, it's some certain things come along with the city. There's some it's like anything else. The pluses and minuses to everything, right? And so if we really wanted to live in the city too.
We did.
When we were moving back, we were like, we got this next phase of life. The kids are grown. We're gonna move.
We're gonna be walking to the
middle
store.
of DC. We're gonna be kicking it.
We're gonna be. And we used to have happy hours with our friends every Friday night, and they already live here. They were like, so y'all. They were like, yeah, I don't think that's a good idea. And we were like, really? Oh, it's just gonna be so much fun.
Oh, the city.
They were like,
they were like, energy no. And the restaurants.
So basically, they were like, no.
They were like, wait. Y'all been living in the suburbs for like 30 years. So you think you just gonna roll up in the city?
They're like, no.
And just be kicking it in D.C.?
No.
They were like, I don't know, y'all.
No. Don't do that. And we're so glad we didn't. Oh, my goodness. So
that's
what's our
hilarious.
next question
My
here?
man John had the question, I think.
Hi, John.
What's up, John?
How are
Welcome back.
you?
Welcome back, John.
Welcome back. It says, could you also talk about places around National Harbor like Fort Washington? Yes, I think Fort Washington is a beautiful place to live.
Mhm.
Lots of big houses.
Yep.
In Maryland, it's
Mhm.
weird because it's across the river from Virginia.
Yep,
But
yep.
if you look at a map, that part of Virginia, that part of Maryland that kind of peaks down, it's right below Southeast.
Yep.
It's across the bridge. Boom, you bust that, go south, and it's right there. Beautiful homes along the Potomac, some with views.
Yeah.
We will definitely bring up talking about Fort Washington. Great area to live in, and if you're working in Virginia, it's a great way to get back and forth home. Great idea, John.
And the casinos over there, too.
And National Harbor. Did we talk about National Harbor?
Well,
I
we
think we
talked about-
did.
yeah,
we talked about the waterfront.
Well, we did. Yeah.
We talked about the waterfront. We
Yeah.
talked about
This is-
Navy Yard.
This is the other side that John is on, though. Yeah. I know you're saying.
Yeah, we talked about Navy Yard, and we talked about the wharf area.
Mhm.
Yeah, and
We
there's
did.
another area coming too. We went to the dinner on the Navy Yard area. It was still kind of blah blah.
Blase,
It was kind of
blase.
blah over
Nah,
there.
It wasn't blah.
It was blah.
Not compared to.
It has two stadiums over there, y'all. It has the
Mhm.
National Stadium,
Mhm.
and it has the new soccer stadium, and then there's Fort McNair. I don't remember the name of Fort. There's
It's
a
cool,
fort
man.
there.
Oh, you talking about over in Anacostia when we went to dinner?
That was
Okay,
not
yeah.
Anacostia, maybe.
That wasn't no, I'm talking about the Anacostia River. that
Yeah, we were
on.
on the Anacostia River.
Right.
And it's nice over there. You can tell it used to be like nothing, and now it's all this new stuff.
Mhm.
So it's coming.
Yeah, it
it's
takes time.
coming.
Takes time.
Yeah, it's coming.
Absolutely.
Creative Binder. Y'all are amazing. I'm so grateful to have this.
Oh.
Oh my God.
Thank you.
Oh my God. That's so.
Creative.
I gotta hit the little
Is it-
button.
Hit the button,
I
baby.
gotta hit the little. Oh, we love you too. We love you too. Thank you.
Shout out to Creative. Is
Thank
it Creative
you.
Binder or Creative Bender?
Looks like Binder to me.
The nursing notebook, Creative. Yeah, Creative Binder, I think.
Yeah.
All good.
Oh, thank you, Zen. Thank you so much. Well, we are coming up on the hour, guys. And we just want to say thank you for joining us today.
We appreciate all of
We
our
appreciate
community,
all of you.
our regulars and our new listeners, our new watchers, our new community. Beautiful love from the Turners to everyone.
How'd you like this little Q&A? Or should we do this more often? Let us know.
Shout out to the Lamars.
And we can throw in a town every now and then. I kind of liked it like this. I didn't have to prepare as much, so I really liked it. But we don't mind talking about the different areas. We are going to try to get more film for you. The weather has finally broken.
Yep.
And we're looking forward to an open kind of summer this year. And we hope that you are too. We hope that you and your families are blessed. And stay positive. Stay away from the fear. Stay away from the negativity. When you feel it, run. Figure out something else. Go to sleep. Take a nap. Eat a piece of fruit. I don't know.
Eat a piece of fruit.
But
I love fruit.
fruit is good. But fruit has sugar.
It's good fruit. though.
No.
It's the Lord's sugar.
No. No. And yeah, the Design Your Life segment, we love that segment too, Karen. Thank
Yeah.
you so much. Thank you so much. Thank you so much for liking the Q&A, guys. We hope you enjoy the rest of your weekend. Get out there. It's masks off for those of you who are not vaccinated, but when you're inside, keep that mask on, just to be sure. And remember, those loved ones that have not been vaccinated yet, keep in mind to just keep your distance a little bit, because from what I understand, you could have it and not know it if you've been vaccinated, and you don't want to pass that on to them. So we just pray everyone continues to stay safe.
Yes.
That you continue to stay positive in your lives and continue to be kind to one another and get ready for a new adventure for our country and for our world, because everything is beginning to look up. Join us again next weekend at 11. We'll be here. Love you.
One love.
One love.
I've been calm, cool, collected, but you pushing on my nerves, and I'm knowing your intention. I'm under pressure. Okay, I'm in